Okay, I just have to say it. What is this? What is this? Why is there snow? What? Hi guys, it's Miss Mangiardi and welcome back. So today what we're gonna do is those scratch off maps that I showed you in the last video. So we're gonna go over probably the one with the different countries because that'll be faster. I definitely haven't been to as many countries as states. So we're gonna start with that one, this one right here. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm going to scratch off the countries that I've been to in the world, which isn't very many. It's probably about 4 is my guess, I think. And I'll tell you what I did there. I'll tell you why I was there. I will give you some fun facts about what happened there. Just some fun facts about the country in general, and maybe I'll show you some pictures and objects that I got from there. So let's get started. I'm so excited to do this. All right, so the scratch off tool that they give you it wasn't working. It was ruining the map, and I don't want to do that because I want to keep this. So that's a dud. What I did do is I went and got a knife to scratch it off with. So what I want you to know is that I am an adult. I am an adult and I am responsible enough to hold and use this knife. I will be using it responsibly in a way that is safe and is not going to hurt me or anybody else around me. This is something that you should not be handling unless you have a parent permission and explicit parent supervision. Please do not think that this is me giving you permission to go use a knife to scratch off a scratch off map. Don't do it. There's my disclaimer. Again, it's me. I'm an adult. I am perfectly capable of wielding this and using it to scratch off my map. You, however, are not unless you have adult permission and supervision. The Capitol building in Washington. Yes, and they have Disney World. Look, there's Disney World. New York has a Statue of Liberty. I'm seeing that coming up. See right here? So we have the United States scratched off there. Yes, I have been to the United States. Obviously, we live here right now. I am currently here at the moment. I keep moving this because I keep thinking it needs to move. But no, if I move it, my map will roll up. Okay, let's go on to the next country. I don't really need to spend a lot of time on the United States because we currently live here. But what I do want to scratch off now is this part of Canada. So I have been to Canada. I went to Canada when I was in, let's see, I was probably in 7th grade. Yeah, 6th or 7th grade. I went to Canada, I went to Niagara Falls. So this was actually before we needed a passport to leave the country, which is crazy because now, like, you can barely get out of your house without your passport. But back then, you didn't need a passport to leave the country, which is a fun fact. So I went up to Niagara Falls. I have not been to any of these other parts of Canada. I haven't been to Alaska or anything like that, but I have been to this part of Canada here. So sorry this is all messed up. That was because of the other thing. This pick just did not want to work. So we're just gonna ignore that. But I have been to Canada. I've been to Niagara Falls up here, which is an absolutely beautiful place. I hope you guys can visit someday because it is amazing. It's actually like right here on the border in New York, going up into Ontario area. Now we're actually gonna cross the North Atlantic Ocean and we are gonna go over to England. So I would say, when did I go to England? I went to England in 2019? No, 2018. I went to England in 2018. I went to London, which is the capital of the United Kingdom. So I went there on a trip actually. So when I was in college, I did a little bit of research on stained glass windows. I actually did a whole project on creating stained glass windows, and I built one myself. So I went to England. I spent 10 days there researching stained glass. I went to the York Minster, which is in York, England. And while I was there, I studied stained glass with a couple of the experts there that restore the stained glass in the building. So eventually I ended up building my own stained glass window. I'm hoping to throw that in the video right around here so you guys can see it. It's nothing too impressive. It's just a pretty window that I made. It's very small, but it was something I was very passionate about, and it was a research project I did in college. So I went to London. The next country we're gonna scratch off is Kenya in Africa. So we're gonna go ahead and scratch off Kenya. Ooh, what a pretty color. So the capital of Kenya is Nairobi, which is right here. I went and flew into Nairobi actually this past summer. We were actually going to a wedding in Kenya. So what we did when we were in Kenya was we went on safari for about 5 days. We were out in the wilderness on safari. We were in the desert, right on the border of Tanzania. So we flew into Nairobi. We got into a safari vehicle as soon as we got there. The flight was 14 hours. It took forever. And we got into our safari vehicle. Then we drove south towards Tanzania and Mombasa, which is the place that we were going for the wedding. And we spent 5 days on safari. We went to 3 different national parks in Kenya. The first one was Amboseli National Park. Then we went to Tsavo West and then to Tsavo East National Parks. It was the most spectacular and amazing trip I've ever taken in my life, guys. I will put lots of pictures and videos in this video of my trip to Africa. If I can't get them in this one, I'll make a whole nother video just for that. Because I have lots of videos of us seeing lions and giraffes and zebras, so many zebras. I saw like 1 million zebras. There are so
Is this the dry season now, Joseph?
Yeah, it's not the rainy season, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you hear them?
Mm-hmm. The zebras, yeah.
What do they do?
Just making noises.
Oh, I hear
And
them.
you got a goose over there.
There are lions literally right next to our safari shark.
Yes.
They look pretty spooked and out. And there's giraffes like right back there. Oh.
He's coming. He's coming.
Mama's big. She's like, she's pointing at us. I love when they do that. They're like, so we actually went down to Swahili Beach and stayed in a resort down there where the wedding took place. It was beautiful. The people in Kenya were amazing. We got to spend some time with the Maasai people. We went to their tribe. They are a nomadic people that we spent a couple of hours with, just learning their ways, how they build their houses out of the mud, how they take care of their livestock and their children and families. So we had an awesome, amazing educational time when we were there, and hopefully I can teach you guys some of that when we get back to school. So yes, it looks like it was 4 countries I have been to so far: the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, aka London, England. You can see Big Ben there, and York, England, which is way up here, and Kenya. Alright guys, so the next map we're going to do is the one of the United States, of all the states that I've been to, which I'm so excited to do because I've been to a lot of states, and I can't wait to see how many I've actually been to. So I'll be back in just a second. Alright, so we have the United States map unrolled here, and in a moment I'm going to start scratching off. all the states that I've been to. Basically, before we even start, I can tell you I've been to every state on this border of the United States, and a lot this way, but I don't think I've ever been to California. I haven't been that far west yet, so I'm gonna start scratching off. I'll start right up here with Massachusetts. Alright, so I started off with scratching off the entirety of the New England area. So I grew up here. I have always lived in Massachusetts. And as most of you guys know, I've played soccer my entire life since I was 3 years old. So while I played soccer, I played on a special Premier League team that let me play everywhere in the New England area. It was a Maple New England Premier League team. So I played all the way up from the tip of Maine to the bottom of Connecticut, Rhode Island area. It was a lot of fun. I have a lot of great memories of Maine, especially. I've gone there for a vacation a bunch of times. I actually got engaged in Cape Cod in the Massachusetts. And my brother lives in Connecticut, actually. So I have been to every single one of these states, either playing soccer, going on vacation, going hiking. Fun fact, I hiked the tallest mountain in New England back in 2016. That is called Mount Washington. It is in New Hampshire in the White Mountains. And I'll have to look up how tall it is. Maybe I'll put that in a blurb at the bottom. I believe it's somewhere around 6,000 feet. Yeah, I think it's around 6,000 feet. So I'll throw that at the bottom here. All right, so I'm going to keep scratching. Whew. Okay, I didn't know how exhausting for my arm this was going to be, but I'm telling you right now, my arm hurts so bad from scratching this map off. Okay, so I have now scratched off the entire east coast of the United States that borders the North Atlantic Ocean, because I've been to every single one of these states. Now, I should say that the only reason I've been to every one of these states is because when I was younger, I drove through them all to get to Florida to go to Disney World with my family. But I've also vacationed and stayed at some of these. So I've been to Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia is one of my favorite cities in the United States. I've been there a couple of times. I usually go about every year. It's the birthplace of the Constitution, a huge part of American history. I totally recommend going to Philadelphia. It's a fantastic city. Been to New York. I mean, we border it. Been to New Jersey, played soccer there. Let's see, Virginia. So Virginia, I've been to Virginia once for, I want to say a vacation, but it wasn't a vacation. It was actually a competition. So when I was in high school, I sang in my high school's chorus. Well, our chorus actually went to a competition in Virginia for a national title, and we won. So we went down to Virginia. We stayed at Williamsburg, which is a very old town. It was really cool. We got to learn a lot of history. We went on a ghost tour. And the next day we went to Busch Gardens and sang and won the competition. I've been to Myrtle Beach down in South Carolina. And to get there, I had to go through North Carolina. I don't believe I've spent any time in North Carolina. I've been to Georgia because I've been to the Atlanta airport. When I was flying back from Utah a couple years ago. So Atlanta I have been to, and we all know, parents, if you don't know this about me yet, I am obsessed with Disney World. Parents, if you're watching at home, I'm telling you right now, Disney World is the most amazing place in the universe, and I am obsessed with it. Me and Mrs. W over at Stearns, we are just Disney freaks. So I can't say enough about it. If you need help planning your Disney vacation, I will help you. I'm obsessed. So yes, that's the entire east coast of the United States that I've been to, and the oldest part of the United States as the country of the United States. So we have our 13 colonies down this side of the U.S. This side was more expanded upon in later years. So if you want to know a fun fact, you guys live in some of the oldest parts of our country, which is just so awesome. All right, so I'm going to start scratching off places out west now that I have been. All right, so I've scratched off more of this map. So first I'm going to start with Michigan. So I've been to Michigan because I've been to the Detroit airport, which is huge, by the way, huge airport. Oh, and I guess I forgot to scratch off Illinois. Hold on. What I want to talk about with Michigan is that it is surrounded by the Great Lakes. So there are 5 Great Lakes, and the easiest way that I can remember them is through an acronym, which is called HOMES. So the 5 Great Lakes, they are Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. So if you can remember the word HOMES, HOMES, you can remember the names of all these lakes, which are Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. So that's a little fun fact for you 4th graders who are going to have to do some work on your states and capitals and landmarks when you are back in your social studies class. The next state is Chicago. Illinois is the place that I went. So the state is Illinois. Chicago is the place I went, which is not the capital of Illinois. It's actually Springfield. But I went to Chicago to go to their airport, which is Chicago O'Hare, the biggest airport in the United States. I went there when I was flying to Las Vegas. So when I was in high school, so about 2014, I went to Denver, Colorado. I went and visited an aunt out there, and I hiked in Rocky Mountain National Park, and I went to Boulder, Colorado, which was an awesome, most beautiful place where I got to see a lot of wildlife and some awesome scenery. Then I went over to Utah, where I hiked in my first national park over in Utah, which was Arches National Park. So I went to Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park in that trip. I went back to Utah a couple of years ago in 2017, where I went to Zion National Park. I went to Bryce Canyon National Park, and I didn't go to Capitol Reef National Park, which is the 5th national park in Utah. There are 5. And I didn't know about Capitol Reef until I was leaving and saw a picture of it in the airport, and I was like, oh no, I have to go back immediately. So yes, I am planning a trip back to Utah so I can make it to that last national park. The next place I'm going to talk about is Nevada. So I went to Nevada I flew into Vegas. The reason I flew into Vegas was not to hang out in Vegas. No, it was to get to Utah. So I couldn't fly into any of the major cities in Utah to get to Zion, which borders Arizona. The closest place I could go was to the Vegas airport. So I flew into Vegas, and then we drove to Utah. And because we drove to Utah, we went through Arizona. I did do a little bit of sightseeing in Arizona. I saw a couple of canyons, but I did not see the Grand Canyon, which is in Arizona mostly. And we did go through there, though, to get to Utah. The last state I want to talk about is Montana. Montana means a lot to me. I spent a lot of time in Montana in 2015. It is my favorite place because it has my favorite national park, Glacier National Park. Glacier National Park is one of the first national parks that our country ever had, and it has the most glaciers in the United States in that park. You can actually see a picture of Glacier National Park on my wall on this giant tapestry. This is a lake called Hidden Lake. It is in Glacier National Park, and I was there when I went there. So, these are all the states that I've been to in the United States. If I count them, there's, let's see, 22. I've been to 22 states in the United States. I've been to the entire East Coast and a bit out west, but that's not even half our states. So that means I have a little bit more traveling to do. All right, so those are all the states and countries that I've been to in the world so far. That list will get bigger as my life goes on because I plan to do a lot more traveling in my life. So, Odin is in the room now, and now he is eating a glove. This stuff is not for you to eat. No, leave. Can you leave that alone? Can you look? You have toys over here. Odin, look. Here's a toy. Okay, yeah, play with that. Just a couple more fun facts for you about some of those places that I have been that I forgot to mention while I was filming them. In York, which is in England, where I had gone to study stained glass, is actually where they based the concept art for Diagon Alley for the Harry Potter movies. So if you've ever seen the Harry Potter movies, you know about Diagon Alley. That's where Harry goes to do all his shopping before he goes to school. Well, the dog's in the trash. Well, the streets of York, they actually look like Diagon Alley does. They look just like that. It's amazing. When I went there, I was like, wow, this place looks like Diagon Alley. And one of the locals was like, yes, it's supposed to, because that was based off of here. That location has been there for thousands of years. Actually, the cobblestones that are there are all original. Basically, I had said it looked like Diagon Alley, and lo and behold, I find out it actually is where Diagon Alley is based off of. So, super cool, super fun fact that you wouldn't know unless you Googled it or you'd actually been there and seen it. So I'll add a picture of that in here as well. Another fun fact is when I was in Kenya, I stayed on one of the rhino reserves there. No, we did not see any rhinos, which was a little disappointing, but not very surprising. Rhinos are going extinct. There's only a couple thousand of them left in the world. So they have a reserve out there that has watering holes and make sure that there's no poachers on the land so that we can keep those rhinos really nice and safe. So I did stay on a rhino reserve in Kenya, which was a fantastic experience. I absolutely adored being there. Kenya was an amazing place. Alright guys, that's it for today. That's all I have. So I really enjoy making these videos. They make my day go by much quicker and I feel much more productive doing them, so you can believe that there will be lots more. Tomorrow I'm hoping to do a cooking video with you guys, start incorporating a little bit of math in there. And I will be reading a book and posting it on my YouTube as well as the Stearns YouTube page. So make sure you check that out. Principal Luciani will be posting that on April 1st, I believe. So check back in. I will be reading some books to you guys. I'll be talking to you guys about what I'm reading and journaling about. Maybe we'll start a weekly journal together. So thanks for watching today, and I can't wait to see you guys again next time. Bye. Miss you.